Okay, here we go. Let's talk about section 2.3. So we're still doing equations of a line, but the other one you had to graph them. This one, they're going to give you information, and you just have to write the equation of a line. Okay, they're going to give you certain information. We did this in geometry last year, so hopefully it's familiar to you. You did it in Algebra 1 as well. All right, so here it says. It says write a linear function. Now, the wording of this, they get a little bit wordy on it. I'm not even going to write the whole thing out. Okay, but you can look at it in the book. It says write a linear function modeling the line passing through 2, 1. Basically, it's just asking you to write the equation of a line. All right, they're just getting really wordy with it. So just write the equation of a line that passes through. I'll write that part down. It passes through a certain point, and they give it to you, 2, 1, and has a slope. I'll just put with a slope of 2/3. Okay? So you're writing the equation of a line. I didn't write that in there, but if you want to write it down just so you know what you're trying to do, okay? Write the equation of a line that passes through this point and it has this slope, all right? I want to find the equation of that line. Don't have to graph it, just want to find the equation of it, all right? What the name of that line is. So this 2 and 1 right here, this is an x and this is a y. Agreed? Now, watch what we're going to do. We're going to put it into this slope-intercept form. All right. Now, you obviously know what's going to go in for the m. What's going to go in for the m? The 2/3, because that's the slope, okay? What about the x and the y, though?
The coordinates.
Yeah, it's the coordinates, the 2 and the 1. So the 2 goes in for the x and the 1 goes in for the y. So I got 3 out of 4. So what can I solve for then? The b, the y-intercept. And then after I find the y-intercept, I'm basically finished, right? I just got to put it all together. But I've got my slope and I got my y-intercept, and that's all I need, isn't it, to write the equation of a line. So let's just plug the stuff in. So y is 1. The slope is 2/3 times x, which is 2 over 1. I'll put it over 1 since it's a fraction. And then plus b. And we're going to solve for b. So watch. 1 equals 4/3 plus b. Subtract 4/3. Subtract 4/3. What am I going to make 1? 1 over 1? That's not going to help me. 3 over 3, right, because my denominator is 3. So I've got 3 over 3. Everybody see that? I erased it, but you could just like cross it out and put 3 over 3. And what's 3/3 minus 4/3? Negative 1/3. What did I just find? The y-intercept, okay? Now, I got to put it all together. I'm not just going to circle that and say that's my answer because I didn't write it, but I did say it a couple times. What does it ask? Write the what? Or find the equation of the line. So I'm going to write y equals m. What's my m? 2/3. And then put it x. It's my y-intercept. Minus 1/3. And that is the equation of that line. Now, they word it kind of funny. They say, write a linear function, okay, modeling the line, okay, or showing what the line looks like, okay, that's kind of modeling. So instead of y equals, they say, write a linear function. So instead of y equals, what do we write? Right. So this is what they're really looking for, to tell you the truth. They're just getting you used to putting stuff in function notation. That's all they're trying to do. All right, they're just trying to get you used to seeing that, because that should look very common to you after a while. After you do them over and over again, f of x shouldn't even bother you whatsoever. At first, it kind of bugs you a little bit, all right? But after you get used to it, you just understand what it means. It basically is just taking place of the y, all right? Everybody good with that? All right, let me show you another way. This is using the slope-intercept form. We're going to come up with another form, and it's very, very easy how we came up with this next form. I'll show you. It is. So this next one is called the point-slope form, and I'll show you how we get it. It's really easy. If you know the definition of slope, you can get this. And there's really only one step. Remember what the slope was? Slope is, yeah, but more specific. Change in y over change in x, but then change in y means what? Y what? 2 minus y1. Now, what we're going to do here, just in this particular situation, instead of 2 minus 1, we're just going to say y minus y1. Is that all right? Okay, and then what's this going to be? X minus x1. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to solve not for y, but we're actually going to solve for y minus y1. Very easy. So if I just want to solve for that, what's that equal then? Y minus y1 equals what? What do I do with that x minus x1? Multiply it, right. Multiply everything by x minus x1. So what's it going to look like over here? M times what? X minus x1. That right there is the point slope form. How'd we get it? We just used the definition of the slope. That's all we did. Okay, and then we just got y minus y1 by itself. You could write y2 minus y1, but we're going to do that because this x1 and this y1 represents that point that they give you. Okay, the point that the line goes through. Is there only one line or one point that a line goes through? No, there's an infinite number of points. But they just give you one of them. All right, so let's do an example with that. Sometimes you're going to find this to be a little bit easier than using the point slope form or the slope intercept form. Okay, so that's just giving you options here. Sometimes it's a little easier to work with this than it is with this when we're doing these problems. But you can always do it like this right here. Okay, just trying to give you a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess easier, different way, we'll say that. All right, here we go. They ask you to write the standard form of the equation. So this is example 2. Write the standard form. Do you remember what that is?
AX plus BY.
Yeah. Now, I did notice something in this book, okay? I've always learned that the standard form was AX plus BY plus C equals 0. But they say they write the standard form with one number to the right. So they do this, okay? This is how I always learned it, but this book decided to change it up a little bit and make it like that. Is that okay? It's not that big of a deal. Just put the x's and the y's on the left-hand side, and you put your constant, right, your regular number, just on the right-hand side. That's all they want you to do for the final answer. All right, so they want you to write their answer that looks like this. By the way, did I tell you this? The A has to be a positive integer. Did we mention that?
Yeah.
I think in my other class, I think in pre-calc, we did this a little bit ago, and we talked about it there. So that has to be a positive integer. The B and the C need to be integers, which means we don't want fractions. All right, if these are all integers, and these could be negative, all right, this could be a minus something y and a negative something over here, all right, but we want the A to be a positive integer. And we don't want any fractions in our answer, because in this last one, we got fractions in our answer, didn't we? We got the 2/3 and we got the 1/3. But in standard form, we don't want any fractions. All right, well, it's kind of the same thing. In fact, I think I wrote down the same exact problem. Let's see, was it 2, 1, and 2/3? Yep, same exact thing, but let's do it a different way. All right, I'll keep it right there. Make you dizzy going up and down so much. Here we go. Let's do it in a different color. Add a little splash of color here. All right. What did we say? 2, 1, right? And what was the slope? 2/3. All right. Same exact problem, just doing it a different way. All right. And then you can decide, unless they tell you you have to do it a certain way. But if they just tell you find the equation of a line and they give you a point and a slope, you can do it any way you want. Doesn't matter. All right. So let's do this. Y minus y1. First of all, this is my x what? 1, and this is my y1. All right, just to make sure we're straight on this. All right, let's put it in for this. This y just stays y. You don't replace it with anything. This x just stays x. You don't replace it with anything. All right, it's the x1 and the y1 where you stick numbers in for, okay? So what's it going to be? It's going to be y minus what? 1 equals the slope. What is the slope? 2/3 times x minus x1, which is 2. And now you just simplify this to make it look like this. So we're going to keep the x's and the y's on the same side, and we're not going to have any fractions. You could get rid of the fraction right off the bat. I'm not going to. I think they do, if I remember right. I was looking at how they did it. I'm just going to work it out. Just watch what I do. It's just basic algebra here. So y minus 1 equals, distribute this. What's that going to be? 2/3 what? X minus, multiply, what's that? 4/3. Agreed? Is this in standard form? No, the x's and y's are on different sides of the equal sign, so that's one thing. And you got fractions, okay? So you don't want it like this. So let's see what we can do. We can simplify a little bit. Tell you what, since the x is already positive right there, let's keep it on the right-hand side. You okay with that? Right? It really doesn't matter. X equals 3, 3 equals x, does it matter? No. So let's keep that there. Let's move the y over here, and let's move the minus 4/3 over here. So how do I get rid of that minus 4/3? I add a 4/3. How do I get rid of this y? I subtract a y. Okay? So we got rid of this, right? And we're going to add those together. Okay? Everybody with me? This is 3/3. Yeah? It's not 3/3, but it's negative 3/3. Okay, negative 3/3 plus 4/3 is 1/3 equals what? 2/3 x, what? Minus y. Yeah, because that negative went with that, minus y. Or if you wanted to keep everything on the left now, you could just write it like this. If that makes you feel better, that's fine. Is that in standard form? It's close because I got the x and y on one side and the number on the other side. But what did I say about it? You don't want fractions. So how do I get rid of the fractions? Yeah, not over 2. Because if I multiply this by 3 over 2, I got to multiply this by 3 over 2, and I still got a fraction. Okay? I just want to get rid of the denominators. So just by 3. Yeah. I just want to get rid of the denominators. So I multiply by 3. So I multiply this by 3. Now I got to multiply what? Everything by 3. So I multiply that one, and then I multiply that one by 3. Why did I do that? Well, first of all, can I do that? Sure, because whatever I do to one side, I can do to the other side, right? As long as I do it to everything on that side. So what happens? Cancels, cancels. What's this? 2x, the x, minus 3y equals, what happens here? It's a 1. And then that is good to go. Remember, the a is the only one that has to be positive. That could be negative, okay, or that could be negative, doesn't matter. But that is the standard form of this. Everybody see that? All right. Because right here, if I multiplied everything by 3, got the x's and y's on the same side, we would get the same exact thing as we did right here. Just for looks. Yep, they just think it looks better, have a positive out in front. All right, so that's why they usually do that. We good with that? 14. Oh, I don't have much time, do I? Yeah, there's no way I'm going to finish the next example. So we'll stop there. I tell you what, we'll stop there. So let's go back to the beginning of this and we'll call this part A, and then tomorrow we'll do part B, all right? I'm not going to assign homework tonight, okay? Well, I'll just tell you what it is. I mean, you got the thing, you got the lesson plan thing. So it's 1 to 33, but I'm just giving you the odds, okay? If you want to start on it, all right, there's going to be a certain point where we haven't that we haven't covered yet, okay? So if you want to do as much as you can just to get a head start so you don't have to do them all tomorrow, feel free. I won't collect it tomorrow, though, okay? Everybody good? All right. See you tomorrow.